Okay. Guys, general feedback on that.
I really liked it.
It's like different to what everyone else has done as well, so it's really good.
I liked how your audience, you went for a lot older audience when like, we were all going for younger. You've gone for an older one, I just didn't work well.
We got the message across of like I can see the video really clearly.
Yeah, I can't really do public speaking, so I thought I'd just leave it.
But with the slides you did and whatnot, like you explained your points very clearly and like brilliant.
You see, like the character, he sort of sounds really old. So
Yeah.
who are you going to use?
It's a good point. Probably my dad or someone.
No, you said you're going to merge shots together. Like, how are you going to do that? Are you going to do like flashbacks? Because you said you're going to like do shots of like before.
Yeah, like the storyline. I'm not sure. I might do it in like black and white, so you can tell the difference, but you know it's him because I'm going to use him as the actor as well.
And how would he like overcome his like in the storyline?
Like I think because the beginning's going to be him breaking up with his girlfriend and then just like trying to get through life without her, sorting everything out, like getting rid of all her stuff. And
Does he realise anything at the end, like what happens towards the end of the video?
I think he just like starts getting back into his normal routine and like sorts out his life.
Because it's country music and that, are you going to film in like a rural setting?
Yeah.
Where
I don't know. I'm thinking of it like out in Essex somewhere, like some shots anyway, like in Hainault Forest or somewhere. They've got a pond and that look nice in black and white. I think.
All the trees and stuff.
When he's just sitting there on his own.
Mm.
And like clothes, are going to be like cowboy hats and like boots,
Checkered shirt.
Yeah, like not too extreme. Maybe like a checkered shirt and jeans or something like that. So you can kind of get the feel that it's not like in your face.
Typical,
This is
yeah.
a cowboy.
Yeah.
and your DVD cover and your magazine. How are you going to
I'm gonna like stick to the style of the song, like just have him, because it's just him on his own. You don't really hear a band or anything. It's just one guy. So just have him in like a rural setting, and just with a checkered shirt or a hat on or something to fit in, yeah, to tie in.
In terms of branding, we already touched on it a little bit, but I think it might be worth having a look at some of those sort of North London sort of folk artists, like people like Larrikin Love, Laura Marlin, people like that, to see how they've branded those artists, because it's that kind of, it's certainly the case sort of 5 years ago that there was quite a strong country vibe going into what a lot of indie artists were wearing and things like that, because I think it would be quite difficult to do something in Britain that is rustic in a way that in a country that doesn't have those huge rolling plains and things like that. Exactly, and I think maybe if you could, like their kind of ways that do, if you could maybe slightly urbanise the idea of the song, so instead of, so it's more like an idea of sort of an urban country song. So instead of having him maybe walking through fields, you should have him walking through maybe sort of deserted streets or something like that.
Like in the city.
Yeah, and it's just an idea, and maybe I was thinking in terms of the performance, you could have him again. This is kind of what I associate with country music performance. You could have him maybe performing in like a proper dive bar or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking that, like have him at one point with his guitar, like I know this probably doesn't sound right, but like Phoebe from Friends when she just performs in the like something like that.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly, yeah, exactly, like sort of, yeah, exactly, a rustic sort of run-down kind of bar. I think one of the things with the video, it's quite important to think about, what did I write down here? I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, about kind of his sort of despair as he's going through sort of that sort of breakup, because if it's a long relationship that he's been in, it does, part of the journey through that is going through that part where you're going totally mental and everything's going awfully wrong. So maybe you could have, you know, the bits where he's going out, breaking down, smashing stuff up, going out, drinking and stuff like that. I think the casting will be a real challenge, because to me that guy's voice, I wouldn't put him older than 35, and I'd imagine your dad is older than 35. So I think that's something that you really do need to think about, because it needs to be somebody that does have quite a specific look,
Yeah.
who you're going to need access to for quite a while. I'm trying to think if I know anybody who I think, because I've got an idea of who would fit that in my head, what they would look like. I don't know if I really know anybody that would fit that look, sort of rusticy, 25 to 30.
Yeah, because I've seen the guy, like the Frank the Day, the artist, he's got loads of pictures on the site, and I've kind of got the look, but I've got to find someone who looks like that now.
Yeah. And I think that will be a challenge. It's not undoable, but that's definitely something that you really need to think about. Do you have an older brother, or no? Does anybody have an older brother?
I think he's like 20.
It's definitely something that's worth thinking about as to who you could get to do that role. I have just thought of somebody actually I think who could do that role. In terms of the bit that I was talking about where their relationship sort of melting down and stuff, there was a video, and I think it's Natalie Imbruglia's Torn. Do you know the video I'm talking about? Where
They're fighting in the video.
exactly, where I think that would be something that'd be worth looking at, just to get some ideas for how you could structure that part of your video. When we were talking about going from one bit to the other, I think the big sort of editing technique to use would be kind of dissolves, just to go quite slowly from one bit to another. The last thing I was going to ask is how could a song that's quite clearly rooted in a male issue appeal to women aged 30 to 60?
Because the song itself is quite country music, and it fits with the country music like Trace Adkins and Dolly Parton, whose fan base is that kind of music.
Yeah.
And I would think, like, he would someone, like, say you like Trace Adkins was performing, he would be like the band that comes on before. So I think that's how the audience would kind of get to know them and like that kind of music.
Okay.
So, does that make sense?
Yeah, it definitely does. It's just, I think, in terms of seeing empathy with the artist, and specifically with the lyrics in that song. Now, if it's part of a bigger sort of the bigger album, maybe that would hold appeal. But I see it as being slightly challenging. That it's obviously going to be, and the video especially, is going to be about a bloke getting over a relationship, which is a very male thing.
Yeah.
And when a sort of middle-aged woman's watching it, I would question how much. Do you see where I'm going with that? So that's just something else to think about. Anything else, guys? What do you think?
I like the idea. I think it will work really well.
Emma?
Come on.